I love, I love the violet flame. That was one of the first tools and one of the first ascended masters that I ever spoke to. And let me tell you, Saint Germain is such a flirtatious being of light. He is just so much joy, and being with him is like just being with this just joyous, happy being of light. And I have never been or sat around him and felt any type of shame or anger or like, oh my God, I need to be quiet and I need to be so respectful. Unlike El Moria, because El Moria is a lot more stronger energy, a lot of more like yes, master kind of energy. So Saint Germain is amazing. He is an amazing being of light. And everyone that works under his ray, it's the same way. There just seems to be so much more love and compassion that holds his ray, his energy. So that said, I know most of you know some of the stuff, so I don't want to repeat myself. So one of the things that I did want to come in and talk to you guys and remind you, because we are in the era of Aquarius, which is Saint Germain's energy. So he's in charge right now of this era that we're living in. And it's really important. And one of the things when I was trying to communicate and trying to ask, okay, guys, guide me what it is that it needs to be brought into attention right now. And he came and he said, talk about me, talk about what we can do together, invite them in. And it was really interesting because I'm like, well, everybody knows about you already. Like, what else is there to talk about you? And he said that because of the era and because of what is happening, people are now exploring or using the violet flame in all the different ways that they can explore it. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that because it was really fascinating how he put it. So did you know and understand that the violet flame, in accordance to the violet flame, is the energy, right? So you have the ray. The ray is what he holds. It's the divine energy that holds freedom, but freedom from suffering, freedom from negativity, freedom from anything that is holding you back from your divine I am that I am, from the holiness that you are. Okay, so that's really important for us to understand, because when you come to that place, then it comes to the next piece, which I thought it was very beautifully said, Eve, is the aspect of we are so much in the aspect of fear. We are so much in the aspect of we're not good enough. We are in the aspect of, or we said we are done. You know, we're in the place of, or either we're done with it, we have been there and done that, and we kind of like give up certain things in our lives. And in other things, we're like, you know, we're just stuck in these old patterns and belief systems. And, you know, and everyone does it. And please do not take anything personal that I say, but it's everybody does it. I have said, I know enough, I got this. And then a week later, they slap me in my face and it's like, oh, I did not know that. And one of the most important things that I have learned through being a student of the Ascended Masters is the aspect of we are always students. We are always students. We don't know. We might know a little tiny piece, but the magnitude of what is available for us, we are only limited in accordance to our own belief systems, in accordance to our own understanding. So we always have limitations. We always have those pieces of the puzzle that needs to be understood. So we might know one piece, but you need to be open to the magnitude of things that are available to us and we're not touching. We're not even in the superficial. It's like an onion, you know, it's like the peeling of the onion. You have so many layers of it within it. So we have been practicing the violet flame in many different ways. And most people use the violet flame for two things. The violet flame, they use it for protection. I'm going to use the violet flame as an aspect of protection. And I surround myself in this violet flame. And it's a form of protection to transmute any negativity, any discord that is coming towards me. It's like, for example, right? So if we're talking about the door, that is a protection, right? She's putting a protection in a room, and you could do that in yourself, around you, in a bubble. You could put it in your aura. You could put it in your home. You could put it in your car. You could put it around your children. It's a protection. All it does is protect. But there's so much more that it can be done. Then you have the piece of when you invoke the violet flame as a fire, it transmutes. And I want you to understand that it transmutes. A protection is a protection, it's there, but to transmute and change. So it's not only invoking it and surrounding yourself with it, but it's to transform and transfigure the negativity into something positive. So literally you could take any negative thought, feeling, action, word, sense, anything from your DNA all the way to the magnitude of things that are happening around in the world. And you could transform it into love, into forgiveness, into purity, into unconditional love, into healing. So you can literally use it as a transformative tool. And then the other piece that you could do this, and sorry, I have to write it down because I will forget. We were talking when we first came in here into action. So the violet flame into action. So this is a whole different thing, because you can literally have activated the violet flame into action 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The magic here is to literally say 24 hours, 7 days a week, people. So when you do the violet flame into action, you're literally manifesting the violet flame in you, through you, and all around you, through every atom, electron, neutron, proton, through all that you are, through all your auras, in the violet flame. So it's literally transmuting all negativity. Yeah, it's hard to sustain it 24 hours. Let me just tell you, but it is such a beautiful feeling, because especially when you're sick, I had COVID at one point, and literally I invoked the violet fire 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it was, I never felt it. I never felt it. It was, I lost my voice, which was amazing. Yeah, I was quiet for a while there, but it was the aspect, I'm sure my kids love that. But it was the aspect of feeling well. It was the aspect of transmuting this negativity that it was even in your DNA process, in your blood system. And I never felt any worse or any better. It was just like this neutral aspect of things. And for those of you that know me a little bit more, you know that I work a lot with lower spirits. Yes, everybody likes to hang out with the big guys over there, and the masters and the angels and all the higher beings up there. But the lower aspects need help too, right? The lower aspects and the lower spirits need help, need ascension. So we use a lot of this violet flame to literally transmute that negativity, that discord, those distortions in those spirits, to purify them and to literally liberate them in the higher realms. So it's just a beautiful aspect that comes in this violet fire, that you can go into negativity and transmute it and purify it, so that people can actually vibrate in a better, healthier energy. So we talked about that. Then we talked about ascension. So the violet flame, you could use it to ascend. And how do you do that? There is this aspect that they talk about the violet flame, which is really, really, really beautiful. And it's the aspect of, if you invoke the violet flame every day for 90 days, every day. If you miss one day, you have to start from zero. But every day, if you do the violet flame 90 days, you're literally activating in your DNA the aspect of violet to transmute any negativity. And you just gave it form. It's living within you. And all you have to do is invoke it, and it's manifesting in you. So when you manifest this energy, you're transmuting. So literally you could go into prayers or meditations and go back. So for those of you that have ever visited a hypnotist or have gone to back life regressions, you could do this yourselves with the violet flame. Like literally you go into the violet flame and you go back to any negative place, any negative aspect of you that you have ever created, that you have ever done to other, that you have received against other or from others, and you can transmute and purify it and forgive it so that you can be released from that, from your past into your present and into your future. What? Like when Saint Germain was teaching me this, it was so amazing. It was really hard though, because you cry a lot, because you have to be humble. You have to understand that you're not perfect, that you're not no innocent, that you have done all this great work in this lifetime, but that's not all you are. You are every single lifetime that you have ever lived, that you have been a criminal, that you have lied, that you have stolen, that you have killed, that you have hurted people consciously or unconsciously, that you have done wrong, and that you have been ugly. Like in your spirit, you have really been ugly at some point. And that you can go back to that moment and transmute it, asking for forgiveness, releasing and giving forgiveness to those. And that humbleness, using the violet flame, transmutes and purifies that energy from where it started. And then it purifies and liberates linearly all that you are unto today. And then in the future, you could project it to all that you shall be. So it's literally the power that this energy has is amazing. That's why they call it alchemy. That's why they call the violet fire the alchemist tool, because you can literally use this tool in so many ways to liberate, to heal you, to transform you. So I know I talked a lot, so I get a little bit passionate, so I do apologize for that. Some people have a lot of issues working with fire because the ray is in the higher realms. So every time you invoke the violet ray, it's really a fire what you're invoking, because what you see is a flame. When you come in here into the physical world, what you can feel is the energy of a flame. Okay, higher is a ray. Here is a flame. So there's the other aspect of the flame, because the flame can be very powerful and it burns. Okay. The other aspect of the flame is the water, and we can actually invoke the violet waters. And the violet waters are so much gentler. They are so merciful. They are so attuned with you in your physical limitations, in your emotional limitations. So usually clients that I have that have a lot of mental health issues, I work with them more with the violet waters because it's such a more gentler tool to use. So that you could go in through all the levels and gently wash away, clean and wash away all the negativity, all the distortions, all the self-negative thoughts, all this lack of limitations that we put ourselves into, that we have believed that is not true. So we literally go in and start washing and cleaning away. This is a lifetime tool. This is not a tool that we're going to use for 90 days and it's done. This is a tool that you use forever. Because once you have mastered it, once you have used it to the point where you are literally living and vibrating in that violet energy, you have become a master of it. Then you become a disciple of the ascended, that specific energy of the violet flame. And it's such a beautiful energy to literally work through. It's such a beautiful tool to have. And you could have many tools. You have the white flame, you have the yellow flame, you have the pink flame, you have the ruby red. There's so many different ones. But once you have the violet under your belt, it's just such a beautiful tool to heal. And this is where we come from, the healing piece, right? So yes, you could use the violet flame to help others heal. You're sending it to them, you're transmuting that energy in them. But a lot of the times we forget that we have so many sub levels that we need to heal ourselves, that even in our belief that, oh, we're doing good and we're fine. Are we really fine? Because if you're still here in this physical body, in this lifetime, in this three-dimensional world, guess what? You're not ascended yet, which means you still have a lot of imperfections to heal. You have a lot of things to mend. You have a lot of things that you could get better at. And what a beautiful, amazing opportunity that you have to have a body, to be in this lifetime, and to be able to be alive and say, to my last breath, I still have the opportunity. I still have the momentum to be able to use this tool to liberate not just my physical, mental, and emotional, but also my spirit, my soul. I could liberate it. I could transform it and purify it unto my ascension. So just to have the opportunity to be here in this lifetime, just to be able to vibrate in that energy and call it and be able to use it, not just for yourself, but for others. It's just an amazing tool. Then I guess the next piece, which is the aspect that a lot of people corrupted, let's just call it that way. The actual manifestation. This energy can manifest, and I mean manifest quickly. Some people go into the very physical aspect of it. I'm going to go a little bit to the higher aspect of it, okay? So imagine that you can manifest a better life for yourself. Imagine that you can manifest literally healing an organ or healing a thing that is happening physically in you. Imagine that you can manifest for your family to have balance, to have peace, to have a better momentum, more opportunities. You can do this with this violet flame. That is what is alchemy. You can transform something that is about to happen. You could go into the future and literally go into your divine path and transform any negativity and purify it and heal it to manifest something positive that you want manifested. Now, this is an issue with karma, and we have to be very careful how we use this, because our ego gets involved. Again, we are here in the third dimensional world, and we have this thing called ego. And even though we say, oh, we don't have any ego, I'm going to call you bullshit on that, because you do. Okay, ego is a very thing that we have. It's part of our human condition. It's how we manage our ego so that we can balance it with our triple flame. And that is another piece of it. Your triple flame. I think in the last time I came in, we talked about the triple flame, and we talked about the ascension flame within that triple flame. The triple flame is your Christ energy. It's your holy Christ self. You know, it's the highest aspect of you that can be manifested, of your I am presence that can come in and be manifested here. So you imagine that triple flame energy of your Christ energy being manifested through the violet flame, all the beautiful things that you could start manifesting. And when you do it in groups, when you do it together, because a lot of people like to be loners, which is not a bad thing. But when you do it in groups, when you do it in mass of people, and I'm talking about 2, 3, 4 people, even 6, magic numbers, 3, 6, 9. When you do it in those numbers, the magnitude of things that can move, the magnitude of things that can change. But again, you have to be careful with karma, and you have to be asking permission. And this is very important. You have to ask permission to the lords of karma, because there's things that you might be experiencing physically, and it's part of your karma. And those things might be able to be minimized, but not completely healed or get rid of. So those are the things that we need to be humble about, and be understanding about. Okay? So in that process, it's really important for us to understand, and it's really important for us to be careful and how we treat this, because it's a beautiful, powerful tool that can do lots of good if we use it correctly. And don't limit yourself into only this piece, because there's so many different pieces that can do and can be done. All right. We talked about healing. We talked about manifestation. We talked about changing, action, protection, forgiveness, and gratitude. So a lot of people, one of the things that the Ascended Masters talk about is many people are intellectuals. Very people understand and perceive the violet flame here, right? And this is beautiful. And you understand what it does, and you can understand it here, and you have taken every course, and you have done all this work, and you have done all these things, and you have read every book that has ever talked about the violet flame, and it's all here, right? But that's limiting. So remember when we talked about the limitations that we have? This is very limiting because it's in accordance to your understanding. But when you take it down into your heart, your sacred chamber of the heart, into the triple flame, you're manifesting that energy. It becomes 10 times more powerful. Let me explain to you, 10 times more powerful. When you take it in through your triple flame and manifest it through your triple flame, because when you manifest it through the triple flame, you are transcending. You are transcending physical, mental, emotional, and etherical bodies through all the ethers and all the dimensions. And once you do that, and once you do it through that energy level, it manifests, and it's literally a vibrating energy. But many people can't go in through their heart chamber because they can't forgive. They don't have mercy. And forgiveness and mercy go hand in hand with the violet flame. You need to have mercy and compassion to yourself, to who you have been or not. Mercy and compassion to others, to those that have harmed you, to those that have not been there for you, to those that have betrayed you and hurt you. And for those times that you have not been there for others because of ignorance, because of time, because of lack of understanding, for anything that you may have harmed or that others might have harmed you, there is where compassion and mercy comes in. And a lot of people in this lifetime are here. And if you have noticed for the past 3 years, which is, by the way, with all this energy of violet flame, because it's coming, everything in darkness has to come into the light. That's part of the process. All that darkness has been coming out. All that ugliness has been coming out. All those confusing feelings have been coming out. And in humanity, and when we see it in masses, it's just ugly, right? Because it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. You know, and then you start, no, this is right, this is wrong. Who the hell are we to say what's right and what's wrong, what's truth and what's false? Because you're only doing it in accordance to your ego. You're only doing it through accordance to your own limitations. We have to lift ourselves into the triple flame through that violet fire to be able to see it with the eyes of our Father, Mother, God, to be able to understand things, to be able to be compassionate to others, to be able to be understanding of others, and to be able to say, this is all they can. This is where they're at. And when we're able to use that and understand that basis, Through the triple flame in action, we become a violet fire in action. And then truly the healing can take place. And he said, it's not, and when you say this, it's like, for some people, it's like, oh yeah, I could do this. And yeah, you can. You can do it for maybe a couple of days, a couple of hours, a couple of, right? And then until you get involved into life or someone calls you with their problems or their issues or their energy levels, and you're like, ew. And you're like, I don't want to deal with that energy, right? And that is where compassion comes in. That's where love comes in. This is where the violet fire is meant to be. Because it's easy sitting in your room, sitting in a space that you have complete control of in using your energy. It is really difficult to bring yourself into the real world, into the world out there, into this three-dimensional world, and dealing with the negativities out there. That is hard, especially if you have children, if you have family members, if you have a congregation that has issues, because you have to work through all that negativity. You have to work through all that sentiments and emotions. You have to work through their sicknesses. You have to work through their limitations to be able to really liberate, to really be able to use the violet flame in compassion, in mercy. Beloved ones, it is such an honor. It is truly, truly an honor to be here among you today. It is truly, truly an honor to come and represent this beautiful energy of mercy. It's beautiful energy that manifests through each and every one of us, but only and when you're ready, willing, and able. Only when you call upon us to come and serve, to come and work. And many of you have forgotten to call upon us for service. All you do is you go in through these energy fields of, this is what I know, this is what I feel comfortable with, and this is what I'm going to do. And you stay in the same patterns, and you're not allowing us to teach you, to give you more. And then you just want to stay in the first and second level, where you could go to the fifth, sixth, seventh level. Beloved ones, this is the time that we've been telling you about, where you can live physically in the third dimension, but vibrate in the fifth dimension. This is what we're calling the aspect of healing. This is what we're calling the aspect of ascension, where you can come into the ascension energy, be living energetically in the fifth and the sixth dimension, still having a physical body, which is very, very difficult to do and manifest. But you have all the tools if you're willing to use them, if you're ready to use them. But this means sacrifice, because it means the sacrifice of the ego. It means the sacrifice of the negativity, of your own lack of self-purpose. It means that you have to let go of your old belief systems and your old limitations and say, I am that I am. I am the violet flame in action in me now, in me, through me, and all around me. I am the triple flame in me, through me, and around me, manifesting truth, manifesting life, manifesting unconditional love. When we manifest and when we call upon, beloved ones, you will not be alone, because you will be manifesting through all of us. They're holding your space, your sacred space within the violet flame. We manifest these energies and we sustain these energies so that you can get liberated from old patterns and old belief systems. They are no longer useful for you in the new era of the fifth dimension. Is this understood, beloved ones? You have freedom in your hands. You have freedom in you and through you, beloved ones. It is your capacity of love and forgiveness what's going to hold you back. Do not allow these things to hold you back any longer. We are with you, and you are being loved, and you are being held. As long as you call upon us to come, there are many servants that serve this ray. There's many masters that hold this ray. There's many students that work through this ray, and it is one of many others. Let the peace be with you, and the healing light of mercy always liberate you into your ascension. And so it is.